I will show you the essential keybinds that you need for the F-18 Hornet in DCS world. Plus, I'll give you a couple of quality of life keybinds that'll help you out during missions. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to set your axis commands for your F-18, which will include your throttle, your pitch, your roll, and your yaw. Start here with the pitch. Then you'll go down, set up your roll. And then whether you are using just the joystick or if you have rudder pedals, go ahead and set up your yaw. After you finished your pitch, yaw, and roll, go ahead and set up your throttle axis. Oh, yeah. By the way, make sure you set up your brakes axis too. And that's going to be it for your basic flight controls. Now, there's not going to be any need to pause the video here. At the end of the video, I will provide a link to my profile for the X56 in a PDF format, a blank template for the X56 originally created by Ericon and posted to the DCS website under the user file section. Make sure you jump on there and leave him a comment saying thanks for making the template. Even though I'm using an X56 and you guys may not be, you guys can still take this PDF and adapt it to your HOTAS. Start with the flight stick. You want the undesignate/nose wheel steering button. This will help you make tight turns on the carrier. Without it, you're going to be struggling taxiing around on the carrier. You'll obviously want all 4 trim switches. This will help you not only taking off from the carrier and on an airfield, but it'll also help you trim your ailerons out when you drop a bomb and you got heavy load on one side of your aircraft. This next keybind is a quality of life keybind in my opinion. I like to fly with the afterburner detent always on in the settings for the F-18. You have to use this button to be able to use the afterburner. I do this because there was a lot of times where instead of throttling down to find where mil power is, inadvertently engage my afterburners and just burn down a lot of fuel. This makes it a lot easier to do some fuel management. Right now, if I full throttle, it'll stop at mil power. As soon as I click the afterburner detent button, it will go into afterburner. To disengage the afterburner, I hit the afterburner detent button again and then throttle back just a little bit and it'll stop at mil. This next keybind is also a quality of life keybind in my opinion. When you're ready for a catapult launch on the carrier, you have to salute to acknowledge that you're ready to go. I keybound the pilot salute keybind to my joystick for easier access. Otherwise, you'll have to come up to the ground crew and salute every time. Right now, I just use the keybind for the pilot salute when I'm ready to launch. This next keybind is obvious. I got one for the landing gear. To cycle them up and to cycle them down. On the flight stick, the paddle switch on the outside, I use that as intended for the autopilot disconnect. Next on the joystick, I have all 4 of the sensor control switches, forward, left, aft, and right, bound to the joystick. These will allow you to select your different MFDs for targeting. In conjunction with the throttle designated controller, horizontal and vertical axis will allow you to slew your cursor over a target. And then you hit the same sensor control switch again to target. Also with the pinky, the same switch as the nose wheel switch, it's also the undesignate. You will need to undesignate targets every so often, so that way your sensors can return to a normal sweep. This also works with the air-to-air radar. Next on the stick, the castle switches I use for selecting Sidewinder, Sparrows, AMRAAMs, and guns. Just note, selecting any one of these will automatically put you into air-to-air mode. To return to nav mode, I just use the cockpit button. To engage air-to-ground mode, I just use the cockpit button. There are a couple extra buttons that I don't have assigned, so if you want to, you can adjust your controls to put these on the throttle base. The last two buttons on the joystick are very, very important when it comes to combat. They are the gun trigger, second detent, and the weapons release button. Now for the binds that I have on the throttle. Set to an axis, I have the radar elevation controls for tilting up and tilting down the radar. Next, I have speed brake switch extend and speed brake switch retract. I have switches for master arm switch arm and safe. I have a toggle switch for the LTD/R arm and safe for your laser. Instead of using the exterior light panel, I have exterior light switch on and off. I also have switches for the COM switch, COM 1 and COM 2 to call up the radio menus. I also have the COM switch for COM 1 and COM 2's voice over IP for talking with Punch during missions. I have dispense switch forward and aft for releasing my countermeasures when it hits the fan. I have the cage uncage button for caging and uncaging sidewinders and Mavericks. The Wraith/FLIR FOV select button I also have mapped for selecting the FOV on the forward-looking infrared or targeting pod. I have a rotary switch for decreasing and increasing the brightness of the HUD. I also have a rotary knob for increasing and decreasing the brightness of the helmet-mounted display. Just note, in my setup with the X56, I had to invert the axis for the HUD. These next binds could be considered essential, but I use them for quality of life. They are the probe control switch retract and extend. Making aerial refueling easier so I can keep my hands on the throttle and stick. This next one is a quality of life for sure, because you can always go up into the radio menu and call pre-contact with the tanker, but I also use the AA refueling ready for pre-contact radio call. That makes things a lot easier when you're right behind the tanker and you're ready to call him pre-contact. You don't have to take your eyes off the tanker to fudge with the radio menu, or you don't have to take your hands off the controls. The last three keybinds that I use are for the EVGAs when they are installed on your aircraft instead of the helmet-mounted display. Gain goggles up will increase the gain of your EVGAs, allowing you to adjust for lighting conditions. And gain goggles down will decrease the gain. If you would like to grab the PDF to see where exactly I have everything bound to my X56, grab the PDF that I mentioned before in the description below. And leave a comment down below. What is the one bind that you cannot live without in the Hornet? For me, this was the game changer. The air-to-air refueling ready for pre-contact radio call. That has helped me stay stable behind the tanker when refueling. No aircraft were harmed in the making of this video, except all of them. If you enjoy the flight, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next sortie.